So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I'm just on a break from work because, believe it or not, I do have a day job and pay the bills. But I was on a break from work. I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw that Aston Villa have been linked with Anderlecht, 21-year-old left back Sergio Gomez. So I said, what better time to jump on, because I had actually just been discussing left back options with somebody whose opinion I value really, really well. And obviously, we're discussing the likes of, and I didn't get it on a podcast. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that on a podcast soon. I won't name any names about who this person is, but somebody I value an awful lot. We're discussing left back targets with them, and we were discussing, as I said, Calvin Bassey, Aaron Hickey, and a couple of other prospects throughout Europe. And one of the names that came up was Sergio Gomez. Now, didn't know anything at all that maybe he was a potential target, but when Greg Evans tweets today or messages today or puts out today that he is a target, I said, you know what, let's come on and let's talk about him, because that person that I did speak to was effusive in their praise of Sergio Gomez, specifically in what he's done in his career, his young career. As I say, he's only 21, won't be 22 until September. But he said that he's learned a lot. He's been through an awful lot of great areas and where he's learned an awful lot, and that he's for somebody so young, he's been exposed to such a different amount of platforms, of ideas, of styles, and I suppose different. What am I trying to say here? Different types of football in his young career. As I said, he's playing with Anderlecht at the moment, but he didn't come up through the Anderlecht system. Actually came up through the Barcelona system at La Miesa, played there. He originally was with Espanyol, defected over to Barcelona in 2010 when he was only 10 years of age. So you can't really say that Espanyol completely and utterly founded his footballing philosophy. But from 2010 to 2018, he played in La Miesa with Barcelona. Two caps for the B team in 2017-18, and then he moves to Dortmund, where he has more of an education, I think. There, he moves to Dortmund in 2018. He's only 17 years of age. And he played predominantly with their second team, played 2 games for the second team, scored 2 goals. But then his big break comes in 2019 when he goes on a 2-year loan to Huesca in the Spanish league. He plays 65 games and scores 1 goal, and thus gets a move to Anderlecht last year, where he plays 39 games, scoring 6 goals. So you might be wondering, whoa, a left back scoring 6 goals in 1 season in the Belgian league for Anderlecht. And Sergio Gomez kind of straddles the line between he's left back, but he's also an attacking left-sided striker, almost high pressing winger, should I say. So when you look at what he's done, he does straddle both of those lines. And to be honest with you, the way that Luca Dean plays is not too dissimilar in how he does get up the field. Sometimes we've spoken about Luca Dean being the highest man up the field, and Sergio Gomez is not stifled. He is not afraid, or he's not anxious about getting that high up the field. In fact, he thrives up there, as well as in some of the defensive areas that he does work on. Obviously, Anderlecht, let's think of a little link that we might have with Anderlecht here. Vincent Kompany has just left Anderlecht. We also have a coach that's on our coaching staff that will know an awful lot about Sergio Gomez. And, well, actually, he may not, because he just left Anderlecht, but he would have maybe been involved in the scouting of Sergio Gomez, and that is Aaron Danks. Aaron Danks obviously has a connection with Anderlecht as well, if I'm not mistaken. So there would be a connection there with Aston Villa Football Club and with Anderlecht through Aaron Danks, and it makes it a plausible type of target. But Sergio Gomez, I'm not going to sit here. I don't have any slides done up. As I say, I'm on my break. I don't have any slides done up. I have looked quickly through his numbers, and we may revisit this, and I may look at him in conjunction with other players, specifically Luca Dean, to see any similarities. But one of the biggest things I think with Sergio Gomez is he is a fantastically brilliant crosser of the ball. Who else is a fantastically brilliant crosser of the ball? Luca Dean. Exactly. So Sergio Gomez was averaging over, I think, is 4.5 crosses per 90 minutes, which put him into like the rarefied air of the top 90% of left backs. He also averaged quite a high number of key passes off the top of my head. I think it was like 1.2, 1.3 key passes per game, which was quite high as well, which would put him in the top quarter of left backs as well, which is really good. He was directly involved in numerous goals and assists for Anderlecht. I saw a number, once again, I don't have it in front of me. I'm ill prepared for this. I think it was 22 or 23 goal involvements over the course of the past season. I'm open to correction on that. I know it was somewhere between 15 and 23, somewhere along that line. I might be confusing two numbers there, but what I'm trying to get at here is his crossing ability is a massive weapon. His ability to pick a pass in the final third is a massive weapon. And obviously coming from La Masia through Barcelona, learning how to play that high attacking game as well as being able to play in that defensive structure has really worked well for Sergio Gomez. What else are we looking at with this guy? So obviously I said that he straddles the line between an attacking player and a defender's attacking wide player and a defensive left back. So another strong attribute would be when he is in possession, he's not afraid to carry the ball forward. Once again, think of a player that we have on our team that isn't afraid to carry the ball forward is Luca Dean. So two of the areas that Luca Dean is strong in, Sergio Gomez is strong in as well. And I like to see that as well because Sergio Gomez attempted 2.3, I think it was around 2.3 dribbles per game. And he completed the majority of those. So he had a very high successful dribble rate. I will put together a slide on this and come back with more detail in this for Sergio Gomez as well. And he was like a better than average dribbler, which you would expect considering that he does have experience playing higher up the field as well. I think one of the biggest things for Sergio Gomez is that when you see, and I've spoken an awful lot about two attacking minded aspects of his game, when you see him defending, I have just turned on and I literally watched on my scouting software. I just watched like 7 minutes of continuous clips of him defending more so than I have of him attacking. And this is actually what I spoke to that person about more so was how can he defend? And he said that, young attack-minded defenders don't really tend to be pretty knowledgeable in and around the 18-yard box, specifically when they're in that contained defense. But Sergio Gomez does have that in his in his locker. He's actually pretty good around his own 18-yard box. He's able to come in off his wing, protect the areas that need to be protected. He's he's got his head in a swivel. He looks around him and he tracks runners as well, specifically in and around that 18-yard box area to try and minimize danger as well. He's he doesn't get accused, doesn't get the label of being a ball watcher. From what I've seen in my very limited view of him, I don't see him as a ball watcher when in and around the 18-yard box as well. Another thing as well is he's pretty decent in one-to-one battles. He doesn't. Like, I know I'm gauging him for Huesca, and I'm also gauging him more so really for Anderlecht. And I know the Belgian league is maybe a bit slower, but it is an open league, and you do tend to see a lot of attacking play in there. But he doesn't tend to get skinned by those players. He's a pretty decent. He's a pretty decent speed. He's not going to be a speed merchant from what I can see. I don't think he's going to be absolutely lightning fast, but he's quick. He's quicker than fast, if that's the way you want to put it. Or he's faster than quick. I can't remember which way it is. So he's very, very good over short distances, but his long speed may not be there. Like, he's not going to be Theo Walcott in his prime zoom up the field, but he will be quick over the first 15 yards. And that's really what you need, I think, as a fullback. You need to be able to match people's speed from the takeoff, and that's really good. He's only 5'7", so his aerial ability isn't fantastic, but he makes himself big when people are trying to get around him. And he is that kind of Jordi Alba type left back that you would find, or that defender that you would find, except he probably has a better defensive nous. When I say better defensive nous, I mean a more Premier League style defensive nous than a Jordi Alba would have. Where Gomez is brilliant, and what I saw was absolutely, like, it just jumped off the page. He presses like a maniac. I mean, a maniac. Like, he's in everyone's face. I read the statistic. I think it's almost 20 pressures per 90 minutes. he has. 20 pressures is outstanding stuff. You're talking defensive midfielder pressures with regards to that. Really, really good stuff. He has, of those 20 pressures, he's a pretty decent successful pressure rate as well. Can't remember what it is off the top of its head, but he really loves to press. He loves to press in different areas. Granted, it is the Belgian league that I did watch. He is all over players like a cheap suit when he presses, and he gets there quickly. So as I say, this guy, it's apparent that he's quick over short distances, and he uses that to his ability. He's very nimble. He's 5'7". He's low to the ground. He's able to turn quickly, and his pressing is quite adept, and you can see it in his play for sure. I suppose one of the big things that he does have that exuberance of youth. It's not all sunshine and roses. And like Luca Dean, once again, and this is probably a negative part of Luca Dean's game, sometimes, and actually, I'm not going to say quite a lot of times, but I saw it a couple of times that he did get caught out of position higher up the field. He does attack. He's an attack-minded left back. Andy Robertson has solidified that position. He's probably one of the best in the world at that position. But what he's been able to do is been able to kind of keep the aspect of the defense as well as the attack in balance. And Sergio Gomez is somebody that needs to learn that, as does Luca Dean. For all the great stuff they do in attack, getting back sometimes, getting caught out, maybe coming too far in off your wing when you are allowed to roam up top is something that is something that that I'd like to see him coached on a small little bit better, just because, as I say, we've seen it a lot this year, that when Luca Dean has gone forward, it's just left an avenue of attack in behind him, and basically what it does is it gives people free runs and the likes of Tyrone Mings, or it gives balls into that area to pull Tyrone Mings out of position. And when we don't have that stable midfield base, we don't have someone fitting in to cover for Tyrone Mings, and it leaves people like Ezri Konsa like a sitting duck. All you've got to do is watch the Spurs game for aspects of that, where Luca Dean was way too high, caught out of position. They targeted areas there where they could pull Mings a bit, or where they could pull Mings out and leave Konsa one-on-one with Harry Kane, and it was very obvious at times. So that is something that that Sergio Gomez will have to work on. I am going to do a small bit more on this. We will be back with another video on it. I do need to cut this video short, but I thought it was an interesting one. It's just kind of serendipitous. I was only talking to somebody about him 2 days ago with regards to, I was only talking to somebody about left backs, and their name came up as a really real highlight player, and somebody that can that will be sought after within Europe. And it was amazing that it came out in Greg Evans' article in with the Athletic today, should I say. So that is exciting. So one of, like, Anderlecht aren't going to want to let him go on the cheap. He only cost them 2 million euros from what I understand. I would be expecting that Anderlecht are going to play hardball with him, because I would go so far as to say he's been probably one of their best signings of recent times. And I'm trying to find the price that they would have sold other players of similar age groups and so on. And I'm trying to find out. Yeah, so like what was that guy's name? Albert Lokanga, sorry, who signed for Arsenal from Anderlecht, who would have had more games, admittedly, for Anderlecht, but would have been a jewel in their crown. He was sold for 17.2 million. So, I would expect Anderlecht to play some hard ball. It's not going to be like 5, 6, 7, 8 million. I don't think for somebody like Sergio Gomez. I would imagine it would be closer to the double digits, and probably going towards 12, 13 million for something like him. But I have no idea what he will cost. Its news is just broken. It'd be interesting to see if this does go any further. So everybody, if you could like this, I'd really appreciate it. If you could like this podcast, if you could subscribe to our audio podcast, if you could subscribe on YouTube. If you don't subscribe to our channel already, I will be back with more information on Sergio Gomez. I'll actually be back again tonight with a review of the 2021-2022 midfield situation. So I would love to catch you then. But until later on at 9:30, when I'm back for more podcasting, we're going to see you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the villa.